With just 4 laps left, everything was about to fall apart, and nobody saw it coming. It was supposed to be a clean finish. The leaders were pushing hard, every driver was fighting for position, and the crowd was on their feet. Then, without warning, William Byron's car started dying. Something went wrong under the hood, and his car just stopped going fast. In NASCAR, that is one of the most dangerous things that can happen, because everyone behind you is going over 180 miles per hour, and they have almost no time to react. Byron dropped back fast, and that is when everything went wrong. When Byron slowed down so suddenly, the cars behind him had nowhere to go. In NASCAR, the cars are packed so close together that even a split-second reaction is sometimes not enough. One car hit another. That car hit the next one, then another, then another. Before anyone could blink, 11 cars were spinning, sliding, and crashing into each other all at once. 11 cars. Gone. Just like that. This was not a small fender bender. This was a full-on wreck, the kind that sends car parts flying across the track, leaves tire marks everywhere, and makes the whole crowd go completely silent for a second before the noise comes rushing back. It was messy, it was fast, and it was brutal. This is what NASCAR fans call a big one, and this one was as big as they come. Here is what made this crash hurt even more. It did not just take out random cars running at the back of the pack, it took out some of the biggest names in the sport. Austin Cindric got collected right in the middle of it. Cindric had been having a solid run, working his way through traffic, doing everything right, and just like that, his day was over. His car was done. All that hard work, all those laps wiped out in seconds. Then there was Denny Hamlin. Hamlin is one of the most experienced drivers in NASCAR. He has been in this sport for a long time and knows how to handle tough situations. But there was nothing he could do here. When 11 cars start crashing around you, experience does not matter. You are just along for the ride, and it is not a fun one. Hamlin's car ended up caught in the mess, and his chances of winning were gone just as fast. Joey Logano was another big name who got swept up in the chaos. Logano is a former Cup Series champion. He knows what it takes to win at the highest level. He was right there in the mix, with a real shot at running up front late in the race. Then the crash happened, and just like Cindric and Hamlin, his race was effectively over. 3 big names, 3 cars done, and that was just part of the story. When you add it all up, this one crash wiped out roughly half of the cars that were still on the lead lap. Think about that for a second. Half the cars that were actually in the running for a good finish gone. In one moment, because of one mechanical failure that nobody planned for and nobody could stop. After a crash that big, NASCAR had no choice. The red flag came out. A red flag means the race completely stops, not a yellow flag where cars slowly circle the track a full stop. Everyone pulls over, the engines go quiet, and the crews rush out to start cleaning up the mess. For 10 full minutes, the race was frozen. 10 minutes does not sound like a long time, but in the middle of a race with only a few laps left, it feels like forever. Drivers sat in their cars on pit road. Crew chiefs talked strategy. Fans in the stands waited. Everyone knew that when the race restarted, things were going to get crazy. The track crew worked fast. They had to clear all the debris, broken car parts, torn bumpers, pieces of sheet metal scattered all over the racing surface. A piece of debris on a track at racing speed can cause another crash just as fast, so they had to make sure every single piece was gone before the green flag flew again. It took 10 minutes, but when they were done, the stage was set for one of the most dramatic finishes of the entire season. When the race finally restarted, it did not end cleanly. NASCAR uses a rule called overtime, which means if there is a caution, a yellow flag near the end of the race, they add extra laps to make sure the race ends under green flag conditions. Fans want to see cars racing to the finish line, not slowly rolling around under caution, so NASCAR keeps adding laps until that happens. This race needed 2 rounds of overtime to get there. That means not 1, but 2 extra restarts, 2 more chances for something to go wrong, 2 more shots for drivers to make a move, take a risk, or cause another crash. The double overtime was a direct result of everything that happened before it. The 1-1 car wreck changed the whole race. It changed who was in the front, who was out of the running, and how the final laps were going to play out. The cars that survived the crash suddenly had a much clearer path to the front. And the drivers who lost their cars in the wreck had to watch it all happen from the sidelines. That is the cruel reality of NASCAR. One moment can flip everything upside down, one mechanical failure, one chain reaction, and suddenly the whole race is different. Think about the cost of a NASCAR race car. These are not your everyday vehicles. A single Cup Series car costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to build. The engines alone can cost over $100,000. When 11 of those cars get wrecked in a single crash, the numbers add up incredibly fast. And it is not just the money, it is the points. NASCAR uses a point system to decide who makes the playoffs and who wins the championship. Every race finish matters. When big names like Hamlin, Logano, and Cindric get taken out in a crash like this, their points totals take a hit. Their playoff chances can shift. Their entire season can be affected by one bad moment that was not even their fault. That is what makes this crash so significant. It was not just a wreck. It was a race-changing, season-affecting, million-dollar moment that came out of nowhere with only 4 laps to go. William Byron did not choose to have a mechanical failure. His car just broke. But in NASCAR, when your car breaks at the wrong time, in the wrong place, with the wrong number of cars behind you, the results can be catastrophic. And on this day, they were. When the dust finally settled after all that chaos, the 1-1, car wreck, the red flag, and 2 overtime restarts, it was Tyler Reddick who drove away with the win. And not just any win. This was Reddick's second Cup Series victory of the 2026 season. Think about what that means. While half the field was getting collected in that massive crash, while big names like Hamlin, Logano, and Cindric were watching their race fall apart, Reddick kept his car clean, stayed out of trouble, and put himself in position to capitalize when it mattered most. That is what separates good drivers from great ones. When everything around you is falling apart, the best drivers find a way to stay calm and come out on top. On this day, that driver was Tyler Reddick. 2 wins in 2026, and a statement made in the most dramatic way possible.